Hi there. A lot of times I get contacted by customers asking me how to unstick their rod. I know that's also a question that circulates on social media often, especially if you are practicing American Tenkara and you're kind of pushing the limits and going after some larger fish. Uh, Sometimes your rod sections will get stuck. Generally speaking, it is the first two sections that get stuck, and those are kind of the most annoying because they are also the most fragile to deal with. Um, Generally, in order to collapse a section, obviously you're always working from the bottom of your rod up to the tip, collapsing it, which is the opposite of how you extend the rod. And generally speaking, if you just hold near those joints and give them a little push, they collapse. Usually I just tap the rod onto the bottom or the base and it releases. But sometimes that section 1 and 2 is a little stubborn, especially if you've laid your rod in the water or if you've been fishing in windy conditions where there's a lot of grit in the air or hooked into some real big monsters. So you always want to make sure that when you are trying to collapse these sections, that you're not holding the tip section up here and trying to collapse it, but that you're always holding the section nearest the actual joint. One way is finding a hard surface, whether it's a rock or cement, and tapping the rod a few times while you're holding that section, and it often will drop in by itself. If that doesn't work and those sections are still being non-cooperative, we include a very technical piece of equipment, our little gripper squares, and these are wonderful for helping you grab hold of that first section, which is very, very thin and flexible, so it's easy to snap, and you want to grip very close to that section and then do a little twist action, and usually that's enough to just go ahead and collapse your rod. If for some reason these methods don't work and you still have a stubborn section that is not releasing, it could be caused by water getting in there, or as I said, some type of grime or grit from the environment. Often you can put your rod in a freezer if you can remove that portion of the section that's stuck, place it in a freezer overnight, and then work at it, still trying these same methods. And often it will release. If it still doesn't release, I have many times walked away from that section for about a week and just left it alone, and then come back to the section and done my little twist while trying to collapse, holding it close to the joint, and often it will release very, very easily. So those are just some tips on how to unstick your Tenkara rod. Thank you.